Right, well it's me.
Why did you swap over?
It's a foible of Pete's. He likes to go on first in the second half.
Custom and practice.
Custom and practice, yeah.
Oh, right.
Okay, this is a subject I very rarely ever write poems about. It's about football, but as I said in the first half, my family come from Ireland, and this poem is set in Sligo on the west coast, in a place called Ross's Point. I was visiting there a year or two ago, and as we walked up this ridge and looked over onto the strand, the beach, we saw a football match in progress. So this is the footballers at Ross's Point. We breasted the green ridge, fielded the startling sight of the Atlantic at its most brilliant blue, came across two full-kitted teams playing soccer on the broad strand, the ball not spinning or flouncing, but bouncing cleanly as on dry land, the beach flat as a pitch, the ball rising in the air like it should when the side of the foot connects with a crisp, clean thud. This is ordinary stuff. If you passed in a field you would barely look. On what scrap of green does not nest a football team? But tell me that you've seen, on a strand like Ross's Point, a ball soar in the air to connect with the child you were, and your heart not race as fast as gulls sweeping the foam, out of the blue, no direction home. Little plug here, there's a book of, relatively new book, came out this year, and it's a collection of poems about Cornwall. And despite my Irish background, the reason I'm in this book is because for the last couple of decades I've been reading regularly in Cornwall at festivals in St Ives and elsewhere. So there's several poets in this book who are also Cornish, or actually Cornish, I mean. So you can have a look later on if you like. But when I first started going to Cornwall, I became interested in the local industry, and this is a poem called Two Sides of the Coin. It's set in Port Leven, and in Port Leven, which is a fishing place, you can also see evidence of the tin mining that happened where the mines went right down through the cliffs and into the sea, below the sea obviously. So, two sides of the coin. Stood high on Port Leven cliffs, disused shafts raised like fingers on a fist, once capable of plumbing cruel depths, taking men under sea, coaxing 10 from reluctant earth, not just men but boys, descended those precarious steps, pasty in a towel, bottle of cold tea, blinking away memories of sun sparkling on the morning sea, toiling all day, returning to sleep exhausted nightmares of death by tunnel flooding, the only warning a terrible crack before the roof caves in, and along with lives snuffed out, the candle of profit flickers, not long enough to shelter doubt. By Port Leven Bay, a simple cross reminds of mariners who perished fishing out this way, driven deep to let their bones rest, feet above the miners' daily living death, separated by so little, united by so much, uncommon cruelty with a common touch, were these workers in Cornish industry, scraping either side the silver coin of sea. In the first half I read a poem about adolescent love, and this is a poem set a bit later on when you're in that wasteland, that's your 20s, and it's a poem about love affairs that begin in the spring and fail to outlive the summer. Sometimes for the best, of course. And it's called The World's Loudest Fuck. The day we met, you wore a shimmering skirt. You were 24, ripe as a peach orchard. It was weeks before you came to me. Then began the season of remorseless sex, when night melted into day, day into night. We lived on Marmite toast and pizza, while spring tiptoed into summer. You were the world's loudest fuck. Whoops, screams, punching the headboard, kicking, biting, getting very wet, very abandoned. Afterwards you sent me postcards, caught out by desire while shopping, the stamp moistened by cunt juice. Our lust affair ended quite suddenly. You had places to go, people to see. I demanded an explanation, but there was none. You were simply moving on. I retired, moderately hurt, but all the better for all that fucking. It took some time to lick summer back into shape, to forget how you licked asparagus, allowing the butter to slide from your lips. It took some time to forget how you loved, licking and sucking and getting very wet and very, 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 very abandoned. We all have to shop in supermarkets, but my favourite form of retail therapy is my corner sweetie shop. So this is an anthem for corner shops. Hooray for the corner shop, where else can you go to get the Beano and Dandy and a whole lot more? A bottle of wine to make you feel fine, a jar of mustard, a tin of custard, a card for the birthday you forgot. If you're feeling peckish, the noodle that is pot. Hooray for the corner shop, for a biro and paper, for a DVD or some fine action caper. Browsing the shelves filled by studious elves, you find amazing new stuff, a plastic juice squeezer, avocado shampoo, the superest glue, matches and cotton, combs and thimbles, beanies in winter, lotion for summer, a watch for a £5. Life without your corner shop would just be a bummer. Hooray for the corner shop, long may it prosper. When you just want one, not 3 for 2, this is the retail outlet for you.